Michel, thank you so much for joining us here at IMpower. Great to see you. You've been talking on the private market stage at FundForum about alternative investments and the changes that we're seeing there. Tell me about that and what's the latest that you're seeing in trends there.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. So alternative investments have been pretty much reserved in the past to institutional investors. As we discussed this morning, private markets have outperformed the public markets by long now in the past years. This, together with advances in technology, the design of new products and innovation in distribution, makes that the information about alternatives is becoming much more available. And investing into alternatives is becoming much easier. So it's really not a surprise that at the end of the day, more and more retail investors have appetite to invest in alternative investment structures. But asset managers, they need to provide for structures. They can no longer build on the same vehicles or structures that they have done in the past for institutional investors, but they need to accommodate for retail investors, like, for example, providing semi-liquid or liquid products, and also ESG will become an important part to play.
So you're seeing sort of next-gen investors and some of the more progressive, perhaps older wealth managers taking this on board. What's going to be key to that? Presumably technology.
Absolutely. Technology will be a key success factor. Transparency is key, and especially also retail investors, they will have exactly the same expectation towards alternative products than they have for any products in which they invest in. So, and providing information in a non-liquid world, much more complex than retail, will only be possible to serve with technology that provides the solid foundation and basis for the retailization of alternative investments.
Do you think one of the reasons that alternative investments are coming to the fore, you mentioned it in your previous answer, you mentioned ESG, obviously it's at the forefront of everyone's minds, it's a huge topic at every event that you're likely to go to. Do you think that is also changing how people look at alternatives, because perhaps they want to see more where their money's going, what are the different options? It's making people think outside the boxes of sort of old-fashioned investing.
Absolutely. We always have to keep in mind an institutional investor is someone who is doing this since a long time, has a lot of money, has a professional team. But retail investors are retail investors. So they will be people that need to be addressed, and their concerns need to be made and their demands need to be fulfilled. So at the end of the day, it's important to understand the clients and provide products that they will like and they would like to invest in.
So Michel, when it comes to those alternative investments, how's Europe doing and how are they competing in that space?
Yeah, well, alternative investments is a global business. European asset managers are competing against American and Asian asset managers. Europe has been at the forefront of regulation and investor protection, which, especially now in the context where we were talking about retail investors, is key. But investor protection is very important. However, one needs to be careful. We need to consider that over-regulation or inefficient regulation will put Europe at a disadvantage and will come with a price that the competitors will not have to pay. So this is why one needs to be careful. But again, very important, and one of the key differentiators for Europe is its strong investor protection and regulation.
Michel, you're obviously looking forward to having some key conversations with colleagues here. What are you hoping to take away from IMpower this week?
It is great after COVID to see again so many people and have live exchanges. It's always important to be at the pulse of things, be live, see the different perspectives from different stakeholders, and this is a great place to meet, and it has been very great so far.
I hope you have a great time. Michel, thank you so much for joining us today. Great to talk to you.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.